Hi, welcome back to Angel's POV Cooking Diaries. Today we're going to make a mint chocolate marble effect sponge. Because it's quite a long recipe, quite a bit to do, let's get straight into it. So here we have 300 grams of spreadable butter, 300 grams of caster sugar. I'm making the mint sponge first, so we'll add 2 pinches of salt because this is quite a big recipe. Okay, so 2 pinches of salt in there. Now next bit is the mint flavouring. Now got to be very careful here that you don't overdo it, because you just want just a little bit of that flavour coming through. So look, that is enough mint flavouring. Then what you do is wipe that down and just bind. Whoa, slowly first. And then whisk it all together. In the meantime, give me a second. I'm also going to get the green food colouring. Now, because of the effect that I want with this, I'm actually going to put quite a lot of green food colouring in, because I want it to contrast to the chocolate sponge. Today we're going to be making 2 sponge mixtures. The first one being the mint one, as I've said. But today I'm making quite a big recipe as well, because I'm taking it to work tomorrow. So I would, for a normal one, I would make 200 grams of each here rather than 300. So yeah, get that all binded in. I'm going to have to knock it out of the whisk in a minute. Oh no, look, it's doing it itself. Okay, so get that all binded in. In the meantime, I've got 6 eggs here, and I'm just going to whisk them up, okay? So I can add them in slowly to the sponge. Okay, yeah. Alright, 6 eggs, just give them a bit of a whisk, okay? Okay. Now, as you can see, that has all come together. It's actually quite a nice colour green, I don't mind it, because it will get lighter as we add more ingredients. And now, just slowly add the 6 eggs in. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Sometimes it splits, it doesn't really matter if it splits, that's fine. It looks awful, but it doesn't affect the sponge really. Okay, so that's mixing in nicely, a bit more. Going to whisk for a minute or 2 and I'll be back. Okay, so that whisked for 2 or 3 minutes. It did split, but as I say, I'm not that fast because self-raising flour, 300 grams, and just sieve it in. This will bind it all together properly, and it will work nicely. Now you'll see I've changed the mixing a attachment to a mixer rather than a whisk. Reason for that is that this particular mix, I just want to bind it together, and if I whisk it too hard, I'm going to knock some of that air out. So slow speed, and just whisk it together for 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll go on to the next stage. All right, so it's been mixing now for about 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. As you can see, it's all come back, it's all come together nicely, look. And we got the first sponge mix of the marble effect. This is obviously the green one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer it into this green bowl. We might not be able to see the difference. And you'll notice that the green has actually mellowed a little bit. It's got lighter, and as it bakes, it will get lighter again. So that's why if you thought, oh, he's adding a lot of green food colouring, it's actually, you know, it will mellow out throughout the process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer it into this bowl. I'm going to clean up, I'm going to measure up for the chocolate sponge, and then I'll be back and we'll get the chocolate sponge made. Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to do the second stage, which is the chocolate sponge. It's basically half of everything I've used before. So 150 butter. Now here's the difference, 150 sugar plus 50 grams of cocoa powder, okay? There you go. And always, this one, just because it's half, just 1 pinch of salt. No food colouring, no flavouring in this one. Same method as last time, nice and slowly at first, and then we'll speed it up. Again, while that's happening, I've got 3 eggs this time, and I'll just whisk the eggs up so I can add them slowly. But again, same method as last time, just half the ingredients. And the reason I go double mint and half the chocolate as such is because the chocolate sponge will be stronger flavour, and the colour will also take over. So it will take over to stronger colour, stronger flavour. So if I went half and half, the chocolate would take it over, and there wouldn't be a lot of mint. So therefore, I do half chocolate to what I do sponge. So we'll get that whisked in. Last time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it, I'm going to scrape it down, and I'm going to whisk it in for a minute or 2, then we'll come back. Okay, so the chocolate, the butter, sugar and chocolate have been whisking for a few minutes, and like last time, just add the egg in slowly. Slowly until they all come together. Once all the eggs are in, I'll whisk it for 2 or 3 minutes like last time. It's the same method basically, but half the ingredients, which means you have to scrape down a lot more because there's not as much batter, sponge batter, so it sticks to the sides, but that's fine. That whisk for 2 or 3 minutes and we'll come back. So the eggs have whisked in nicely, and again, like last time, we've changed the attachment and half the ingredients as always with the chocolate. So 150 grams of raisin flour, and just sieve it in. There she goes, all in. And like last time, we'll give that a mix. Sorry, I can't close it. Oh, okay, sorry about that. So like last time, we'll give that a mix slowly for about 2 to 3 minutes at a nice slow speed. It will take some scraping down in between as well, but I'll do that. We'll get that mixing for 2 or 3 minutes. I'll come back and then we'll be ready to tin her up and try and get that marble effect going. So yeah, 2 or 3 minutes and we'll come back. Okay, so the chocolate sponge has been mixing slowly for 2 or 3 minutes. I've scraped it down a couple of times during that 2 or 3 minutes because, as I say, it's not a very big dough. So you need to scrape it down so to make sure that even in the sides there, it's all nicely mixing, which you can see it is, okay? Now, here's a tin. So what we do is, I'm going to use 2 different spoons and we just randomly place bits of batter in different places. So what I don't want is a big lump of mint or a big lump of chocolate. I want to randomly place it in. The lumps of mint should be larger than the lumps of chocolate, simply because we've got more mint than chocolate. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to get it all in, and as I say, there is more mint than chocolate, so I'm not too worried about that. That I've done on purpose. Put a bit of chocolate on top of the mint, and we'll go a bit of chocolate on top of that mint there, and then scoop it in like so. And basically, bit by bit, add all the batter in. That's it, the chocolate's mostly done. So now I'm just going to cover it all up. I want a bit of chocolate on the top, but we'll do that in a second. Now this is quite a big sponge. As I said, normally I would do 200 and 100. This time I've done 150 and 300 just because I'm going to my head office tomorrow and I'm going to bring them all a little bit of cake. So let's try and get the last bits of chocolate on the top there. And then all you do is grab a spoon, put it in and just spread it like that. Give it a bit of a mix, not too much, just a bit of a mix like that. And then I like to flatten the top. And look, you can see the meringue, the marble effect. See that? And that'll be running straight through the sponge, okay? So there's the marble effect, as you can see on the top there. Now this is a big sponge, so it's going to take quite a while to bake, but then what happens is the outside can burn. But in half hour I'll come back and show you a little trick to stop that happening. So the oven's on at 180 degrees. Back her in like that, and we'll be back shortly in half hour for a little tip and yeah, see how we get on. Okay, welcome back. So the sponge has been in for about half hour now. Now I know, because it's such a big sponge, that the outside, look, it's getting dark, but the inside won't be cooked yet. So to stop the outside burning and making sure the inside cooked, I'm just going to add this greaseproof paper, just cover the top, turn the oven down a little bit. And I reckon another 15 minutes and we'll be there. So yeah, that's just to stop the outside from burning. Okay, because it's such a big sponge, it's been in an hour. I've just checked it and done the little knife test and it's come out dry. So we're going to pull it out because you see, look, it's burnt a little bit around the side simply because it's such a big sponge that had to stay in for so long to cook in the middle. but it looks lovely. What we'll do is, we'll knock it out the tin, put it on a rack, let it cool down, then we're going to come back and cut it in half. Okay, so I've sliced it and I've had a look. But look, let's do the reveal, shall we? Look at that. Mint and chocolate marble cake. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it, and I'm going to enjoy eating it. As always, any comments, any requests, welcome. Please like, please subscribe, and see you next time.